or would your family go to get you the much-needed help, especially if you're unwell? And what would you do if your pastor ordered you detained, chained, and prayed for in the guise of healing? This is part of what goes on at the Kisumu County-based Holy Ghost Coptic Church, where we found a number of families in desperate need of help for their kin, subjecting them to inhuman treatment in the name of healing prayers. Our reporter, Winfrey Owino, went undercover to uncover the truth. And here, this is the mute healer. Take a look.
This is Kisumu, Kenya's lakeside city. We travel about 5 kilometers from its central business district to Mamboleo, an estate off Vihiga-Kisumu Highway on your way to Riat Hills, and we are at the Holy Ghost Coptic Church. We got into the church with a hidden camera and attended a church service. Nearly everyone is dressed in a white attire, but one thing stands out for us. Some believers, both men and women, are in chains. It is not easy as those chained move to the altar to give their offering. The church is run by Father John Pesa, who leads worship and manages the church. Once everyone is settled in the church, he walks in alongside his altar boys as worshippers sing. The sermon is over. Normally, it is time to go home, but not here. All the congregants reside within the church compound. For those detained here for prayers, it is time to go to their rooms. Pesa has to walk out first, followed by his altar boys, and then the rest of the congregation, marching in 2 straight lines before they greet the preacher in the compound. But who are these people in chains? This young man is one of them. We established he was brought for healing prayers. He claims to be a student at Oyo Secondary School. He says he had a swollen leg and had been in and out of many hospitals before he was brought here in 2020, and he is now healed. He spends most of his time here volunteering.
Sometimes Baba's got a library. You can take your time, your free time, to read some things, to understand more, not only in the Bible, but also in geographics. We do learn many things. Also in foods, how people live. I have gained a lot. And also, if you can do computer, also you have computers here.
Father Pesa says that some of his patients are brought by learned and elite people. Peter Ogutu claims to be the son of Professor Ogutu and joined the church after leaving the ACK church.
Hapa watu wapigwi, hapa watu wamewekwa pole pole, tunaimba, tunaombewa. Jumapili tunaenda kwa kanisa, kama siku katikati ya wiki hivi tunakuja kwa maombi na mafunzo nyingi sana, sio hata ya Biblia, ya mambo mingi kama ya jiografia pia.
He also claims to have been in and out of Mathare Mental Hospital but got healed at the church. He has been here for 4 years. While some are brought here willingly, others are lured and at times coerced into this place by family and close relatives. During our undercover filming, we met Brian Owino, one of the detainees. He has been in detention for over a year. They say he is mentally unstable, but our interaction with him raised some questions. He asked for a phone to call his sister. Surprisingly, he had memorized his sister's phone number.
They cheated me.
But
I escorted them to town.
Yeah. From where?
From Nuan.
Oh.
With some cash for the
Yeah.
empowerment.
Yeah.
Just those youths around the place I used to come.
Oh, okay.
And I accepted.
The phone call nearly landed us in trouble with Father John Pesa, the owner and founder of the church.
Media to one onge tiende mondo jatua owuogi ng'ato mani article marwa mwandiko mana ka ng'atni okwarusa to wuoga wejo jatuo luoga ni koro wuoga wadharani maber.
We established that Brian was lured into this church by a close relative in December of 2021. He claims his aunt worked in cahoots with two of his friends and tricked him into this place.
When I landed here with them, I met my aunt.
Here?
Not exactly in this room.
Yeah.
In another room.
But within the compound?
Yes, exactly.
At 27, he's the only male child of his late parents. He says he was a smoker before he was detained, allegedly following a disagreement with his paternal relatives over property. Through Brian's phone call, we were able to meet one of his sisters, Fiona Otieno.
Kuna barua yoyote ya daktari ambayo ile kutoka kwa psychiatrist ambayo ilimrefer huko, ile apelekwe huko? Ndio nasema kuna daktari fulani kuna daktari aliandika ya kwamba apelekwe huko. Hakuna daktari.
Na tunasikia anakubali alimpeleka. Sasa hebu muulize alifikaje huko.
Tulipokuwa na yeye Yugis nikamwacha nikuja half term. Nikapigiwa simu ya kwamba amerukwa na akili, alikuwa anafanya vitu zingine zenye sio kawaida. Akaweza kuletwa nyumbani. Tukakaa na yeye kidogo lakini akatoka karudi nyumbani tulikozaliwa. So after some times my aunt akanipigia simu akaniambia hali yenye Brian nako sio hali mzuri. Akasema anataka tumpeleke Coptic kwa Father John. So alitaka mimi ndio anitumie ili tuweze kumfikisha huko, lakini nikamwambia kulingana na story ambazo nimesikia siwezi mfikisha ama siwezi usika kumpeleka Coptic.
Fiona says to release her only brother, they had to part with more than 12,000 Kenyan shillings. She says the people at the church got mad with them, and once he was released, they chased them out of the church's compound.
They told us that we have to pay for some amount before we release him. So he told us that we asked for the amount of money. Then he asked me a question that if you are renting a house for the least money that you could, how much could that be? And I told him that around 1,000 shillings because he gave it the house to the worst conditions. And I told him 1,000 shillings. Then he asked me, for how long has Brian been there? Then I said 12 months. So he told me to multiply that 1,000 by 12. Then it came to 12,000. So he told us that we were supposed to pay 12,000 before we had him released.
Brian's story is just one of the few stories of people detained against their will in this facility. They are held in old and poorly lit rooms, locked from outside, perhaps to shift the attention of strangers visiting the premises. The rooms have old buckets and containers, which they use as toilets. The detainees only get 2 meals a day, a cup of porridge for mid-morning and a meal in the evening. They are taken out to see the sun only once a week.
Nilikuja kwa matibabu kidogo ya kupunguza tamaa ya miraa.
Huwa mnatoka nje ama mnafanywa chochote? Huwa mnatoka nje?
Hatutoki nje mpaka Sunday.
Sunday peke yake.
Sunday.
While undercover, we witnessed some instances where the detainees also offer free labor services while in chains. This man here is painting a wall with chains on his feet.
Kazi gani ambayo hii unafanya kama napigwa na nyororo? Kazi gani? Mtu kama anajua kupaka rangi, tunataka kujua kama amepona kweli ili tutoe hiyo nyororo. Tunaona anapaka rangi vizuri, basi tutajua huyu nyororo atolewe kwa maana amesapona. Lakini kama bado yeye iko kali, hata mwagiwa wewe rangi hiyo na kutusi hata wewe. Kutumia wagonjwa ni ngumu.
Who is Father John Juma Pesa?
Nilifufua mtu mmoja hapa Seme ambaye msichana wake ambaye anaitwa Mrs. Dr. Mioyo alisema baba yangu, ndugu ya baba yangu Ojing Kamburi ana mgonjwa sana, na kama tunaweza kwenda, naweza chukua wewe na gari yangu tuende. Tulienda tukapata Eristariko Cage Kamburi Seme hapa, nikakuta kama amesakufa. Na wakasema sasa kama amesakufa namna hii utafanya nini? Nikatoa watu nje, nikaombea yeye Ojing Kamburi Eristariko Cage Woodbury alifufua mpaka akakaa mwaka nyingi. Sasa sijui kama amesakufa kifo tena.
He is either donning an all-white attire or dressed in the clergyman's cloak when ministering to his sheep. He claims to be celibate and describes himself as a servant of God who talks to him quietly and he answers, hence the name, the mute healer.
Maneno mingi ya kuponya watu, mimi naambia watu kwa upole tu. Sio kufanya kelele au kulazimisha Yesu. Ati Yesu ponya huyu kwa jina lako. Yesu ni rafiki yetu. Tunaomba yeye maneno pole na anasikia.
When asked about his alleged harsh treatment of people seeking his services, he says,
iko katika kitabu. Nyororo sio sasa. Nyororo alianzishwa wakati wa Yesu Kristo. Hata wakati wa zamani sana. Wakati wa Lut, wakati wa Ibrahim, walifunga wasimu na nyororo. Ni vile ng'ombe kichwa yake mbaya anafungwa nyororo, farasi wa kichwa yake anafungwa nyororo, basi anatulia.
Father Pesa says he gets funding from well-wishers, volunteers, donors and church offerings. His church has attracted believers from other countries, he adds.
President ine walijua kama mimi naombea watu, walijua vizuri sana. Sio mimi naiba kutumia maombi, sikufanya kipolepole au kuiba au kisiri. Nafanya kiadharani, watu wote wanajua kutoka Amerika, kutoka wapi.
The condition of people here and the alleged mistreatment prompted county police to raid the church in January this year. However, no arrests were made, we understand, pending a court order. Through the raid, we established that there were more than 20 people held in different rooms at the church premises.
Watu wamekuwa wakiweka na mateso. Mkimpea vitu aniletee, wanabadilisha na wanatumia kama vitu zao.
Kwa upande ya chakula pia siwezi support ni mzuri. Iko average. Haiko average, iko below.
Vile vile tunakaa na mavi hapa ndani.
Dadangu anaitwa Rasmi ya tena. Sasa nikafungiwa hapa hivi kwa nasimuliwa watu nikipigwa.
Nguvu ndio inaisha. Wanapea sisi chakula lakini msipoomba tunaomba sana.
After the raid, we went to find out what criteria he uses to admit the sick people to his church. We went undercover again. This time, I posed as a young woman looking to heal my brother, who is a drug addict. I lied that I am married in Nigeria. I went in the company of a boda boda rider who agreed to take me. When we get there, he asks our names. We didn't give our real names to conceal our identity.
Agnes Anyango.
On our way in, we meet two other women looking for help for their 17-year-old kin. They claim their niece is epileptic. At first, Father Pesa is hesitant because there is a court case ongoing. But again, he brags about how he once won a court case where he had been accused of sodomizing 5 boys. At some point, he mentions to us his relationship with the country's top leaders since independence. He also argues that his problems started when he changed his political allegiance from the region's political kingpin to the ruling president. To admit a patient, he advised us to come with a sick relative alongside a letter from the chief to ascertain our identities. When asked how much it will cost, he insisted on seeing the patients before quoting the fee it would cost to have them there.
Adhi wuoyo gi adhi manyo ng'ato manyalo biro galime kelo ne chiemo ka oro pesa dong
Last month, the Kisumu County's Department of Health moved to court seeking orders to shut down the church's operations for operating in unsanitary conditions without legal documentation and for being a public health nuisance. The court is yet to issue its verdict. Kisumu County's Health CEC Gregory Ganda has dismissed allegations of a political witch hunt made by Father Pesa. He says the department acted professionally after reports were made by the public.
Whatever is going there is demeaning to human beings. It's against human rights. It's against all sorts of ethics. It is unacceptable in this kind of standard. And I would call it, maybe it is a cult, because I don't understand how people of sane mind could be chained and be able to walk around and accept. And I don't know what he's using to be able to keep those people there, because normal people would fight and make a lot of noise.
The medic also says the main reason most people opt to take their kin to such places is the lack of mental health facilities. He says the region has only one facility which can't accommodate all cases.
A medical institution is not just any place that you confine people. It has to be registered by the board. It has to be inspected and registered and must have practitioners who are certified to be able to practice mental health. There are no people in that place who are certified to take care of mental health. There's no psychiatrist, there's no psychiatric nurse. Whoever there are not certified to be doing whatever they're doing.
Lynette Yogo is a psychologist. She says subjecting people to such conditions impacts further on their mental health. She says the government should put in place proper measures to protect its citizens from such occurrences.
Being that it's a church and people know it as a church and maybe the people who believe in it, I think that what should be done is there a way that this man can be supported so that he can have professionals to help handle these people and then transfer them to the proper institutions that can help. Some 2.5 years ago, we had tried going there to talk about the same thing because people are talking about it. But unfortunately for us, we were not even able to see the pictures you've shown me.
According to Yogo, Placing people who claimed to be drug addicts or have mental illnesses under such conditions poses an even greater risk.
You know, like maybe someone would be having anxiety, or for example, someone had substance use disorder. If they're chained and put in such places, then it means that they can also pick up other mental issues, especially like depression. Someone can even become to an extreme. They can even pick up bipolar. They can even become schizophrenic. So we need to be very careful, because that means that people can also have co-occurring mental health issues.
For now, Father John Pesa continues to run the church as usual as Brian's family look for medical intervention. Meanwhile, the county's hands are tied as they await the court's decision, not knowing when it will come.
Because the condition that my brother is in is not a pleasant one, so the first thing that we have to do is seek medical attention, because he's so withdrawn. We have to seek medical attention so that we can know what's next.
But my honest opinion, my professional opinion, is that it's wrong. It needs to stop.
Haya jogo wacho bululu wacha waseme watachoka usiku watalala.
Behind me is a wall, and behind the walls lies the secret of what exactly goes on at the Holy Ghost Coptic Church here in Mamboleo, Kisumu County. So whose fault is it? Is it the county government, or is it the failure of the government to regulate the religion? Winfrey Owino, KTN News.